Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, everyone. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. So I did give a very heated review of Spider-Man No Way Home, and I do want to go over something I did say and why it is extremely important that you know why I do not like Spider-Man No Way Home on a subjective level. Spider-Man, we all know his story. We all know that in the entire multiverse, Peter Parker, his defining moment to becoming a hero was when his Uncle Ben was murdered. After his Uncle Ben told him, with great power comes great responsibility, and when his uncle was killed, it was after his seeking vengeance and realizing it's not the way. That is what Peter Parker had to go through in order to become Spider-Man. It is the most defining moment of Spider-Man's life. It is essentially the birth of Spider-Man. It was shown throughout the comics. It was shown in the Tobey Maguire movies. If he had those powers and Ben Parker did not die, he would have misused those powers for fame and fortune and possibly even eventually down the road, crime. By taking and erasing Ben Parker from the MCU, you take away Peter Parker's motives for becoming Spider-Man. He has no... they gave a piss poor excuse. They actually hinted that it could have been his uncle dying, but with the whole actions in No Way Home, where Aunt May dies and then says with great power comes great responsibility, you erased all of his motives beforehand. You completely delegitimized Civil War and what he was explaining of why he was doing what he was doing. He wasn't doing it because of a moral or because some moral calling. He was doing it because he realized that the negligence he committed caused the death of his uncle. That is a part of Spider-Man. That is a part of Peter Parker's journey. To have him be Spider-Man for so long and then go through that, it makes no sense story-wise at all. So you can understand why me, a fan of Spider-Man for so many years, would have a problem with this. Erasing Ben Parker is a huge insult to what Stan Lee created. Because even Stan Lee once said, I can't pull up an article about it because it was never published, but I do remember him saying one time in an interview, without Ben Parker, there is no Spider-Man. And the MCU proved it. It was Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man who lost Ben Parker. But somehow there is a Spider-Man without the loss of Ben Parker. The Peter Parker Spider-Man, that is. Yes, there is Spider-Man Noir, but also Ben Parker his uncle was also a part of his life as well. He used his uncle's stuff to become Spider-Man Noir. There's other Spider-Man out there. Miles Morales, who is just some stupid-ass Spider-Man 2.0 with superpowers beyond the normal Spider-Man. You also have Spider-Man 2099. They're not Parker. Every Peter Parker in every universe, except for Spider-Gwen, because he didn't get bit in that one, became Spider-Man because of Ben Parker's death. That action cemented the road for Spider-Man to become a hero. So when this movie shits on that action, erases it completely. And a lot of you are probably saying, well, Ben Parker may have existed. If he existed and died, May Parker's headstone would have been next to Ben Parker. But no, it was a solitary headstone. Hate to break it to you folks, but a real Spider-Man fan would have noticed this. A true red-blooded Spider-Man fan, a person who lived, breathes, and all that about Spider-Man would know that without Ben Parker, there is no Spider-Man. You could try to spin whatever tale you want. It doesn't make sense without Ben Parker. I accepted Civil War with his Spider-Man because he basically, it could have been interpreted that his neglect, when you don't do things, that's when bad things happen. He could have been hinting at the tragedy of what happened to his uncle. But with No Way Home, they basically confirmed that never happened, thereby erasing Ben Parker and his full reasons for being Spider-Man. Ben Parker is the person who needed to die because Ben Parker told him the lines, "With great power comes great responsibility." He is the most important person in Parker's life at that time, and the loss of him puts him on the path to being Spider-Man. That is why I do not accept the MCU Spider-Man anymore. No Way Home, objectively, I gave it an 8 out of 10. But subjectively, with my own biases and with my own knowledge, I know that this story falls greatly because of that one act alone. Plus the other stuff, but that is not a part of this video. Folks, every Spider-Man fan should know this. Without Ben Parker, there is no Spider-Man. And I truly find it absolutely wrong and disrespectful that Marvel Studios did this after Stan Lee died. Stan Lee would have never approved of this. He never would have. He would have told them, Ben Parker is the reason Spider-Man is Spider-Man. Without Ben Parker dying, Spider-Man would have become a criminal. Anyway, folks, that's going to be the video. You all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Do you honestly believe that there is a worthy alternate take of Peter Parker becoming a hero version of Spider-Man without Ben Parker at all? Or do you honestly and truly believe that that is the only way that he could have been? And that is the way that would have cemented him as the hero he grows up to be. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below, folks. This has been Orange Hat Reviews. Stay humble.